I have got 4 belly-blasting supplements you can add to your diet.
The many benefits of magnesium and how to get more magnesium-rich food.
If you've been following my newsletter, you've heard me talk about
Have you ever wondered what the best
Supplements like vitamins, herbs, and protein powders comprise $36 billion in annual U.S. retail sales, and it's almost completely unregulated.
We have developed the ultimate male vitality supplement with 8 concentrated super herbs.
An open marketplace has facilitated experimentation, but it's also allowed products to flourish like Herbalife, which some claim is a pyramid scheme that doesn't help users lose weight, allegations that the company denies.
Now under investigation by the FBI and the Federal Trade Commission.
Neil Thanedar set out to bring accountability to the market without quashing its dynamism.
You don't know what you're taking. There could be a fish oil capsule that's 10% omega-3s. There could be one that's 90% omega-3s. There could be what we found, which is that about 1/3 of the capsules that are actually on the shelf are rancid. I think what Labdoor does provides kind of this really nice balance between some sort of regulatory function, but at the same time, it's a free market, right? You can, like, anyone can sell a product. If you do something wrong, we'll catch you, or like we'll do our best to catch you, but we're not blocking products from the market. We're not setting up a 10-year process to get to market.
6 years ago, he co-founded Labdoor with the goal of bringing more transparency to the supplements industry. The company has received funding from several prominent angel investors and venture capitalists, including Mark Cuban and Y Combinator.
Are there any results that have really surprised you, either in terms of, wow, this has exactly what it says and is pretty effective, or falling way short of what it's promising?
Yeah, so there's certain categories. So if you look at like a vitamin D or magnesium, or kind of these kind of simple ingredients like creatine, you'll find that the vast majority of products will be very good. You know, so it might be 70, 80, 90% of the market is clean. And then there's other categories like Garcinia cambogia is something that Dr. Oz had been really pushing heavily. And when we tested in 2017, we found that 70% of the products didn't have the active ingredients up to the label.
The company buys the products right off the shelves and then posts the test results for free on its website. It makes money when people click through to purchase an item.
People might think there's a conflict of interest there if you are testing these products, but also in a way marketing them. How do you justify that?
Well, often what we actually find is that it's not the most popular product that wins categories. It's not the thing that the big brand name that you might have heard of often is like a B or a C grade on our site. The real top A grade products tend to be something that people haven't ever heard of before. So it's the protein powder from England, it's the fish oil from Belgium. These companies in some cases have never even sold in the US. And once we find them, we start testing, they actually find a market in the US to actually start selling.
Fish oil doesn't sound that far from snake oil.
Yeah.
What did you go in thinking about supplements, and have you changed the way you've thought about dietary supplements?
I think I probably went through 3 phases in my life. So like when I was in high school and I was playing sports, it was like I would take the protein powders and the creatines and whatever, like I would buy whatever's the most popular, right? Or whatever like my friend recommended, right? And that's kind of the classic thing that people start with. And then, you know, I went to college and I started researching a lot of the science behind it, and it would just hit me. I kind of went the other way, and I was like, I don't want to take anything because I don't know what's in these products, right? And then once we started testing these products, you can definitely find, like we found protein powders that say they claimed 25 grams of protein per scoop, and they had 5 or 10 grams. And someone took the worst product every single day, they would actually absolutely get sick, right? And if they took the worst fish oil, like that had 10% or less omega-3s, it wouldn't be that effective, right? And so this idea of we can find out what's safe and effective just by testing the products. And if we can do that, then, and if you only took the best products, then you would actually see an effect. And so I think the supplement market has a lot of great players and a lot of bad players, right? And our job is kind of be the referee and kind of separate the two.
Labdoor once tested male libido supplements marketed by InfoWars founder Alex Jones. Though taking them is unlikely to increase libido, they probably also won't do much harm, the company found.
Both sides got what they wanted out of that story. Like Alex Jones was really excited that it was all pure, and I think, right, and I think the other side of the media was very kind of frustrated about the kind of the extreme claims that were being made about what might actually happen to your health. For us, like we do the testing, we tell you what actually happened, and you can read that very different ways.
Thanedar plans to create a decentralized network of laboratories called TEST, consumers would no longer have to trust a single third party, including Labdoor or the FDA. Instead, through a decentralized database known as a blockchain, participants, including the supplement manufacturers themselves, could actually place bets using tokens issued by test as to whether a product would pass muster.
In a classic certification, someone like the company would pay for a certification, and we would, and like anyone would deliver it. And I think that centralization can cause kind of some bias when you're directly paying the people who are giving you a rating, like a credit rating agency. You have a lot of risk. We want to use this token as that curation mechanism for this registry, so that we can basically have an open, decentralized way for any lab can come in, and if they're registered, if they pass the testing, they can contribute, they can actually make money as a testing lab for this registry. And so it doesn't just have to be us, anyone can do testing. And so I think it becomes a self-selection mechanism where the best companies, the best products will actually rise to the top by just the factor of this curation, this prediction system, and the idea of the best companies kind of self-select into the market.
And Thanedar says his vision of a market solution to consumer safety concerns isn't limited to supplements. Labdoor has its sights set on another giant market, marijuana.
It's a market that's basically going to come out of nowhere, and there's a lot of testing to be done. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Here in California now with recreational legalization, there's actually mandatory testing, and there's a whole system of labs. So how does your vision fit into that?
I think the biggest thing for that is convincing people to test publicly. If there's 100 things on the shelf, you don't want to know the 10 things that failed. You want to know the number one best thing, right? Like if there was like a spotlight that was like, this is the number one best product, and you could just like pick it up and walk out of the store, that would be magical, right? And that's the kind of experience we're trying to make, is like take those 100 products and put the spotlight on the one best product. And that's more than just saying, hey, it passed the minimum government regulations. It's like, this is the best product, just buy this and you'll be happy. And that's the thing that we're really trying to get to.